This is ICASTnews.com, live and direct from the United Nations. I'm Linda FASULO. Joining me today is the permanent representative of Georgia, Ambassador Alexander Lamaya. Welcome, Ambassador.
Thank you for having me here.
Ambassador, we know this past Monday, Russia vetoed an extension of the UN observer mission in Georgia that had been in place since 1993. It consisted of about 130 military observers and some police and others. How significant was that mission on the ground, and what will be the impact now that it's been withdrawn?
Well, we deeply regret about the Russia's decision to kill this mission. It's not an isolated act, though. Russia has been consistently trying to roll back any international presence back in my country. Just last month, Russia vetoed in the same manner the OSCE presence in Georgia. Mm-hmm. It looks like Russia is trying to get rid of unbiased organizations that would document and report the violation of human rights of the remaining population in the two occupied territories of Georgia, namely Abkhazia and South Ossetia, and also trying to get rid of those professional international monitors who would document their illegal military presence in these two regions.
Did this come as a surprise to you, or did your government anticipate the veto?
Well, neither we nor the group of friends that have been trying to persuade the Russians to agree on the continuation of the UN presence in Georgia expected them to go as so far till the last day. There were numerous attempts made to in attempt to convince them to vote for exactly the same resolution they voted two times in a row, last time no longer than 4 months ago in February. But this time it looks like there was a major political shift back in the Kremlin that indicated that they're going to go against the entire international community.
Well, of course, Russia is one of the few countries, or the only country, that has recognized Abkhazia as a sovereign, independent state.
Well,
right?
That's true. Russia apparently is the only country that has recognized those two territories of not being a part of a sovereign country. Something the entire international community just cannot accept and will not accept, and the members of the Security Council have made it very, very clear in their speeches, and the outcomes of the voting also was very self-explanatory, I would say. 10 votes for, just one lonely vote again, and 4 abstentions. Yes.
I see. So how would you describe, for example, Georgia's relations with Abkhazia these days?
Well, we would better be talking about Georgia's relation with the occupied territories of Abkhazia and South Ossetia. Up to 15,000 Russian troops have been introduced to the both territories. So if one considers that those are very small, tiny territories inside Georgia, he or she would have come to conclusion there was territory just completely occupied militarily by the Russian Federation.
Now, the 15,000 troops you mentioned, how
Yes.
long have they been there? Those are recent?
Well, since the invasion of the last August.
I see.
And what we have here is an effective Russian governance imposed on those territories, and where local people have very, very little say. So basically, those relations you ask for are non-existent. One should also mention that if we speak about the Abkhazia region of Georgia, 3/4 of the pre-war population of this region has been forced out as many as 400,000 people of 550,000 people of pre-war population of this region have been forced out.
Since last year's war?
Since 90s, including the
then,
last
okay.
year. So as a result of several waves of something, a number of international organizations called ethnic cleansing, OSCE, the European Parliament and the Council of Europe included. The goal of the Russian Federation is very, very clear. The goal is to try to legitimize the illegal military presence in those two territories of Georgia. One thing they probably didn't expect was a very firm and clear position of the members of the Security Council. They said that in a joint statement they released immediately after the Russian veto was that they're strongly supporting the territorial integrity and national sovereignty of Georgia. They are not recognizing so-called independent territories, and they are not going to recognize them. So sooner or later, we believe the Russians will have to reconsider their decision, which actually backs them into a corner.